Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. I'm Marco D'Angelo, joined in studio with Ralph Michaels, and we're going to discuss WagerTalk's new free product. It's the daily FirstPitch newsletter, and obviously I'm biased, but I think it's the best publication out there, definitely the best publication out there for free, and you can download it every day. And Ralph, you're the author of this, and so I want to give you, your kudos here for putting together a publication that well, let's tell the viewers the different things that they can look at and the two new things that you added to it this week, actually today, in fact, and I'm ecstatic that you added them.
Well, first, a quick shout out to Ed Meyer, Killer Sports, and JoeSportsDatabase.com. We get our information from them, and they assisted in putting together the product. But, we started talking about doing a baseball sheet each day in a newsletter. And when I started looking at what I wanted in there and we got the feedback from the customers, one page really wasn't enough. So it was a two-page format. The first thing I want to let viewers know is if you're getting the format and you like it in the one-page format, you could just look at the continuous scroll. But if you just go to your settings and you look at the two-page format, you're going to look at both sides of the game on one view on the computer, which is what I love doing. You'll have the pitchers on the left, you'll have the team logs on the right. So we try to do a couple things different. I mean, we have the home records, the day, the night, the righties and lefties. But what we also did was break them down overall and then home and away. For the home team, you see the home records, the last 5, 10, 20 days and for the season, and the same for the visitor. And then we went one step further and we added the average line for each team in that game. So obviously, if you're 5-5 and your average line is minus 147, that's not a profitable situation. You're taking a team that's a big favorite. Likewise, a team that's 5-5 and an average line of plus 125, you're making money on that team as a dog. So that's the important aspect about baseball is records are deceiving. You have to look at what the line was and what the profit was. And I've got some situations to talk about with that. Home favorites, couple home favorites here that have just been burning money. The Blue Jays at 15-16 as a home favorite are down 10 units this year. So you're not down 1 unit in juice with them. Other burners, the Nationals, they're 4 games over 500 at 20-16, yet you're minus $708 if you bet $100 a unit. And the Cubs are burners both as a home favorite and road favorite. As a home favorite, they're still 6 games over 500 at 22-16 as of Wednesday. They're minus 427. On the road, they're 1 game under 500 as an away favorite, but they're minus $720. So, again, it's the combination of being able to find out how teams do against lefties on the road, how they do on in the day on the road, the average lines included. And when you look at the over-under lines, you're also getting the average total for that game. So when you see the Dodgers and you have Wood and Kershaw pitching, you may see the last 5 games totals of 8. When you have the Rockies, it may be closer to 11.
Right, exactly. One of the things there in those teams that you pointed out with the bad records, it's no coincidence that it's all teams that were supposed to run away with their divisions and are not. And if you're close to 500, you're going to lose money, obviously, when you're the big.
You could throw my Indians in that mix, too.
Yeah, you can throw the Indians in there, too. Now, one of the things that you added today, in fact, and you saw Brian in an earlier video talking about first inning wagering, and you put some stats in about pitchers and what the score was in the first inning. And we've got stats that nobody else has as far as first 5 inning wagers. It's a very popular bet, but nobody's really, it's not a number that you can find around. I've talked to a lot of different people and say, no, I got to monitor that by hand. I don't have a site that does it. And you're doing it with the first 5 inning wagers.
Brian had the first inning bet on the best bet video. You had the first 5 inning bet. So what you're going to get when you look at the game logs is you're going to get the pitcher's logs for the last 10 games. It has the normal stats you're accustomed to, the win-loss, the whip, and the ERA. But then you're also going to have the first inning score and the 5th inning score for those pitchers. So as Brian pointed out, both of his pitchers have only allowed a first inning run, I believe he said 3 times this season, where you're going to see his last 10 starts and what that first inning score was. But then if you go over and look on the team log, you're also going to see the last 15 games for that team and how they done. And Brian talked about that as well, as how his 2 best bets the two teams that were part of his best bet were the worst two. And then you gave out a fifth inning score. So what were those scores at the fifth inning? Look at what your pitcher did. Look what his fifth inning score was and see if he's a better bet betting him in the fifth inning compared to the full game.
Absolutely. And it's just an invaluable tool, and it's something that, most sites would sell for. It's a product that's, definitely very valuable and could sell. And we're doing it for free, and you're putting a lot of work in it. And, this is one of the big reasons we wanted to have you on board at WagerTalk is because you are so good at putting together data and then putting it into a format that's usable. I mean, you could have a ton of data, and if it's, if you can't read it, it's no good, and you put it into an easy format.
I'll give a shout out to my previous boss. I was the general manager of Phil Steele Publications. I was there for 15 years, just left, a year and a half ago. So, working for both North Coast Sports and the Phil Steele Publications, putting together magazine, it put the gambler mentality into that aspect and organizing the facts. And, and we even tweaked it twice. So there was great feedback from our viewers and our followers. And we tried to do what the general consensus wanted in the newsletter. We made those changes for our followers.
You've been very good about every time we've asked for a change, and a lot of different times between just conversations with you and me and with Brian and so forth. We talk about, hey, how about this? Is this something we can do? And you add it, and that's great stuff, and keep up the good work. And I got to tell listeners, check it out. It's free. What do you got to lose? It's a great publication for you. If you're doing your own handicapping for baseball, it's an invaluable tool. Check it out. It's at WagerTalk every day. It is the daily first pitch. We always tweet out a link to it. So follow WagerTalk and also follow Ralph on Twitter. You won't miss out on it. Guys, don't forget too, each and every Friday at WagerTalk, if you want to get a best bet at WagerTalk, all of the cappers on Friday, it's Flashback Friday. We roll the prices back $7 for the plays on Friday. Check out your favorite capper or try a new capper, just $7 each and every Friday. We'll be back with more here at WagerTalk.com.